Eat meat yet. However, I'm using some Impossible Burger patties that I've defrosted and I crushed it up. You could also just buy it from the store as a pack of just ground meat. So this is going to be our base. And to add to this, we're going to be adding some plain breadcrumbs. This is the store brand because it's cheap. Oh man, bread is so much more expensive now. I have no idea why. It's like there's some sort of war going on. You know? You're also going to need, let's move that to the side, some ketchup. There's some plain Heinz tomato ketchup. Best ketchup you can find. And we're going to need an egg. So one egg that we're going to beat. Don't judge. Okay. Let's move that to the side too. Beats. Just one small egg. It's how my body jiggle, doesn't it? I hate it. Alright, we're gonna add the egg in. It's gonna serve as our binder. And then we're gonna have our spice mix. The spice mix is just some salt, some peppers. There is cumin in here. There's also some allspice. I'm gonna add that in. And a little bit of salt too. Not too much. I think that should be enough. And something that I forgot is some tamarind concentrate. This is something that you can buy from the stores if you find some Asian stores, or you could buy it online. It's very nice. We're gonna need a couple tablespoons of that. I'm just gonna add that in. In this part, I'm going to be using my hands. So we're gonna make sure that my hands are clean. Move that to the side. Move this to the side. Close this up. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. So if you show footage of me washing my hands, just to prove that I'm washing my hands.
He's washing his hands.
What is that beeping noise?
That's something outside.
Alright. Pollo hermanos. Let's see. Make sure that it's clean. Hands are dry. I'm gonna use one hand for this. Let's put that down here. I'm gonna mix it together. Mmm. Delicious.
Meaty.
I'm gonna thoroughly mix it. And once that's thoroughly mixed, I like this. It's very therapeutic. Once it's thoroughly mixed like that, we're gonna get this guy. Okay. I'm gonna form our meatballs using our bare hands. Meatball-sized meatballs. And one jumbo one. Alright, that's the oven. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I overestimated how quickly the oven can actually preheat itself. That's okay though. Could also just use like a baking tray for this. I'm not gonna use a baking tray. Too badass. I'm gonna be muting this.
Oh, okay.
Clearly.
I wasn't sure if I could talk or not.
Yeah, you can talk. Moist.
Delicious.
Delicious, moist meatballs. Oh, this one's gigantic. This one's small now. Oh, let's make this a little big. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
big meatball now.
Meaty balls. Is that therapeutic?
Hmm? Yeah, it's like back in kindergarten.
Like ASMR here.
Right? This is from my OnlyFans.
Gross.
Good thing we're gonna be muted, right?
Good thing no one could read lips.
Maybe they can.
Oh,
We were
God.
talking about that today, about how it's a shame that none of us can actually communicate in sign. I
All
should
right.
have gotten tomatoes, actually.
Tomatoes.
Yeah. Tomatoes. Alright, so we're going to take this into the oven.
Wait, don't close it.
Alright. I'll close that up. We're also going to need some rice. So I'm going to prepare some rice today. I am going to be using a rice cooker because I'm not a savage. I'm a civilized man.
Like,
use rice cookers.
like civilized folks be doing.
Alright, so if you're making rice. So here's a funny story about rice, right? Some people, they don't like to wash it. But my family, we used to sell rice, used to process rice. And so my grandfather's elder brother, he has like a rice processing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the rice, we usually would end up, once they had been dehulled, they've been milled, you end up with rice that's on the floor before they're packed up into sacks before they're sold to the store. So sometimes insects get on them, sometimes animals get on them, sometimes when they're drying out they're just on the floor with the dust, sometimes they're swept up in brooms. So always make sure that you wash your rice, right? There's a lot of stuff that's on it on the surface. They're not squeaky clean. They come through actual machines.
This is very true.
And God knows how long those machines have been around. It's very difficult to clean them. Alright. Let's clean it up. Right on the line. And that's how you measure the rice. So use a rice cooker for this. Plug it in. Little tiny rice cooker. Make sure that's all the way down, because you'll get in trouble. Your mom's gonna get mad if you forget.
All right, so now what?
All right, now we're gonna go through. Let me actually grab a couple of things. Hang on.
All right, let me pause it.
I'm actually gonna grab beef stock and cherry, because we're gonna need it. You're gonna need a pot like this. So a pot that doesn't react to acid, because we are going to be using some acid for this. And the acid that I'm using is this guy. So you might remember this for all you gout sufferers. This is the really tart cherry juice. It's making my mouth water just thinking about it. So this is something that we're gonna use. We're also going to be using some beef flavored broth. We're going to be using some dark cherries that are pitted. So these are just frozen that you get from the store. And of course, we're going to be using a Dutch oven, because the Dutch oven doesn't respond to the tart cherry juice. If we were to use something like a wok, the acid is going to strip all of that up. So that's not something that we want. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna turn that on. And 1 second.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Hang on. What's going on here? Alright, pause. It's recording?
Mhm.
Alright, so we're gonna start with our beef broth. It's technically not cheating. Because, this is just like beef flavor. It doesn't have actual beef in it.
Right.
So that counts. You're gonna need like that much. This is my 3rd time doing it, so that means that I no longer am required to measure stuff.
Right.
Tart cherry juice. I'm gonna add that in. Oh, look at that. Isn't that crazy?
Beautiful.
Excuse me. I'm gonna move it to the side. We're also going to need a bit of our tamarind concentrate into this. And we're also going to add some of our spice mix into this. So the tamarind concentrate, I think maybe just a small teaspoon. Not a lot. We're going to add Aleppo peppers into this. So this is something that you can find. It's actually very difficult for me to find, so I had to order it online. But I know that over in Union Square during the Christmas season, they sell Aleppo peppers in one of the stalls, one of the spice stalls. And a little bit more of these spices. And this is just onion powder, garlic powder, some cumin, as I mentioned. Some more of the Aleppo peppers or some paprika in there as well. And it's going to give it more flavor. And last but not least, we're going to need some cherries. So store brand. This is my favorite brand. It's on sale. There's inflation that's going on right now. I'll talk about inflation at some point. Ukraine and all that. But for now, we're going to add some cherries into this. We're going to add some pitted dark cherries. Probably about half. We don't need a lot for this. So we're going to let that boil. And this I'll keep in the freezer. And we're going to wait for this guy to boil. And then we're going to come back later on. So we're going to take a pause right now. We're going to cover this up.
Okay.
Hello. Alright, so it's time to get this started. It looks good. It looks decent. Alright, that's what they look like. They look kind of done. Pretty done-ish. If it's hot, put something like this to remind you that it's hot. I'm going to turn this off. Let's clear that off. What do I need? I need spatula. Spatula. And the spatula is just to, wrench them loose. Break them up a little bit. Well, actually, you don't want to break them up. Right. You want them to be a little bit loose, And remember that this is also still going to cook in our sauce. So let's not burn our sauce here. Ooh. Let's not burn our sauce.
Whew.
You could also use like parchment paper. Let's see what it looks like underneath. That's perfect. That's what we need. Give this a taste. Nice.
Is good.
Oh, sauce. Let's move this out of the way.
Oh,
Sauce looks like that. It's reduced quite a lot.
oh, it smells amazing.
If the sauce is too dry, make sure that you're moving it around. Sauce is too dry, you could always add a little bit more sauce. Cherry juice. But this is actually, needs a little bit more. Let's add a little bit more. Tart. And we're gonna let that release, especially here at the sides. A lot of sugar in it.
Tap, tap, tap.
Let's add these guys in. Without burning yourself. That's the real trick. So it's only cooked for like 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know the actual time because my timer stopped working. In addition to that, we're also going to add some parsley. So this is some Italian parsley that I've rough chopped. I'm going to turn this off. I wash my hands. Wash my hands of this whole affair. I'm going to mix this up.
Mixer.
Ooh. The parsley really gives it that very floral notes.
Makes it pop.
Whoop, sorry about that. My bad. Let's clean that up. Oopsie. Yeah, I feel like it needs a little bit more sauce.
Yeah, more juice.
More juice.
Yeah, just use it all up.
Yeah. I also feel like I didn't add that much cherries in this one.
I'm sure we'll taste fine.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Alright. Good, we can stop it now. Okay, so that's what it is. This is some Syrian meatballs with some cherry sauce. I hope you guys give it a try. And that is it for the cooking segment. Off to future Adrian for the rest of the class.